Oh, what a week it was. Apple was down. Trump takes on OPEC. Netflix earnings coming next week. Tesla's Model 3 production hits another snag. However, Springsteen fans rejoice. The boss's paraphernalia is going to hit the auction block soon. General Electric beat on earnings and reaffirmed guidance. That means I'm going to be doing a segment on General Electric coming up soon. And the dollar's best week in over 4 months. Silver's best week in 4 months. Bitcoin's best 2 week gain in 4 months. The 30-year bond's worst week in 3 months. The 10-year bond has its highest close since December 2013, and gold's worst week relative to silver since September 2016. It's all too much. Let's take a look. Here we are with the 20-year monthly chart on the spiders. The close on Friday is 266.66, and we've had this decline here. However, we're still above the 20 and definitely above the 50 EMA, and in fact, the price chart looks like it wants to reflect at this point and head back up, but we've got some mixed signals here. First, the MACD looks like it's heading down. Still relatively steep, but it's above the trigger line. Moving here into the MACD histogram, this looks even steeper, but again, we're still above the zero line. Moving into the momentum indicator, it's heading down, but we have a slight reflection here. This tells me it wants to reflect back up as well. Price rate of change has moved through the slow line here, and with a slight turn, maybe a reflection. Relative strength tells me that it wants to reflect at this point here above the 50 line, so it's possible. Stochastics, there isn't any sign here of a reflection, but we're heading down, still above the 50 line. Volume moderate. Williams heading down with a reflection above the midline. Looks like it wants to reflect back up as well. Again, back up here to the price chart. I think there's a strong possibility that we'll get that reflection. So let's go to the daily chart. Here we are with the 6-month daily chart on the spiders. I've drawn these trend lines, and this seems to be somewhat of the problem here. You can see this trend line from the upper left moving on down here. So every time the stock price gets up near that trend line, it retreats back down here. And we have a good floor setting up in this area here. So I think, Yvonne, that W is out the door. Now, I may have written a W like this when I was in grade school, but this looks pretty ugly, so I think it's out the door. But I think what's happening is we're just going to keep undulating here, oscillating here, sideways, and then it'll break out at some point coming here in the near future. I think it's gaining some strength. So let's take a look here. Moving here into the MACD, definitely still a downtrend again from the tops as well. And the bottoms here have a little bit of a downtrend, but I still think it's gaining some strength. Looks like the fast line is churning here. May go through the slow line or signal line here later on next week or so. So I think the price is going to retreat a little bit further here, but that's all right. Same thing kind of shows up here, hit the top, and we're going to head down. Not too much of a problem. That's signaled here also in the momentum, as well as in the price rate of change. Definitely wants to head down here temporarily. Relative strength as well. Go back under that 50 line maybe. Stochastics definitely also shows that things are topping out into the volume. You see these lines here, these are all the red sale lines when there's been more selling in the market. So we've got a lot of selling still going on here, but I think that will turn. Williams says let's head down here temporarily. Back up to the price chart. It's kind of like a whack-a-mole. Every time we get up to this level here, it gets whacked. But it still seems to be a struggle between the buyers and the sellers, and I think that the sellers have the upper hand, at least in the short term here, and it does not appear that the Fed is going to come to the rescue, at least not yet. We'll just have to wait and see. I think we trend sideways. I wouldn't do any buying at this point. I wouldn't necessarily do any selling either. I just would take a look at this and let's just do a wait and see. So I would like to thank my subscribers and my followers, and we'll see you this weekend. So for ChewDog Charts, thank you.